developing winter. Hang on. We have snow in the northern tier. Just how much will stack up through the weekend, we're going to let you know. Jordan.
And the already soggy south.
That's exiting. And then look at this energy. All right, so you have this, you've got this. This is all plowing south. And essentially, we have our jet that's going to be hanging right around here. So it allows the cold air and the energy to come in and cross the Great Lakes. All of this to say we're going to see more cold and snow at least through the weekend. That's what we're going to be getting here through the northern tier. There it is for you. We do have temperatures in the 20s and 30s and some of this lake effect snow kicking off for us. It's all very light unless you get a little bit of elevation. Then you're going to get a little bit more snow, as we do in the tugs, as we know. But that snow is getting all the way over into, look at that, the mid-Atlantic, the northeast. A lot of that isn't making it to the ground. It's just a cloud cover, but it's still kind of exciting and fun to look at. Notice our totals here anywhere from that 2 to 5 inch range. And that's really what it will be, with some spots getting a little bit more. There's always an overachiever when it comes to the snow. As we go through the day, watch this system, this piece of energy, basically move eastbound. And we are going to see a lot of gusty winds with this as well, and that will be the case. It takes through the day on Tuesday, even Wednesday evening, still lingering into portions of New England. And then it kind of bleeds into our next system that's coming on in. They're just kind of back to back to back. There is a little breath in between them, but it's pretty kind of constant. Tuesday, Wednesday, then the next one kind of starts Thursday into our Friday. But, you know, this is elevation snow right there, 5 to 8 inches for you. Overall, it's kind of that 1 to 3, 3 to 5. Notice our snow totals. We are down. Marquette, 6 feet. Otherwise, is 2 to 3 feet across the board. Look at Erie as well in that 5, 6 range up towards Syracuse. So we do have some significant deficits that there's no way we're making up with this light snow that's coming in. 30, 40 mile-an-hour mile-an-hour winds for us through the day. That lasts also even up to 50 miles an hour. We could see them gusting into our Wednesday. It stays breezy. This means you're going to have bumpy travel if you're flying through this area, potentially some delays, maybe a power outage or two. I don't think we'll have large power outages, but they could be there. Syracuse, I know this looks daunting with the snow day after day after day, but it's all very light, Jim. It's not like super heavy snow that's going to come make up that 5-6 foot deficit.
No, plus you got the March sun,
yes,
okay,
true.
that's going to be eating at the ground and warming it up. So it's just going to be one of those things where it's like, if you're going to do it, let's do it here. All right, let's do it right. All right, guys, let's talk.
Can't get over some of those 5-6 feet deficits that we're dealing with. Okay, so we talked about the energy coming into the Midwest, the Great Lakes, that's dropping down from Canada. What is this piece of energy? This is the system that caused that snowstorm almost a week ago. We're only a couple days away from it in Colorado. It is still hanging around. It got cut off, literally just snip, cut off from the flow. It's been lingering around, but this is going to be driving eastbound as we head through the next several days. So there's your upper level energy that's just been meandering around. It's going to get a little kick. You know, sometimes you need that little push to work out, get off the, phone, the whole thing. That's what this is going to get, a little push. And we will see an increased flow from the Gulf of Mexico, giving us a potential for some thunderstorms here throughout portions of Texas. So this is Wednesday through Friday. It's wet, heavier rain, I would say, down, I-10 to I-20 corridor for us. The GFS has a little bit heavier moving into the Carolinas. But we've got to watch this thing as it makes its way towards North of South Carolina. Since March 1st, we've had a lot of rain in the South. I mean, it has been extraordinarily wet, 6-7 inches in just 1 month. You're getting way more than we typically get. Tomorrow, there's the system moving into Texas for us. Then Thursday, it's Houston, College Station, Lake Charles, Victoria, over towards Austin. And as this continues to progress east, it's going to bring us the threat for some flooding. So we have to watch out for that. Thursday to Friday, right along the border there, Texas and Louisiana, and then Friday into Saturday as this thing gets into the southeast coast. So let's watch it develop here. There it is, especially as we head into our Thursday, but it starts developing Wednesday. Through the day on Thursday, it's going to continue to move east. Friday, it is wet here throughout the entire southeast. You've got some strong winds as well. So this will be one to definitely watch. San Antonio, by the way, you are going to see thunderstorms here, and you won't be too far from eclipse totality there in San Antonio.
I hope this
Though, Jim, let's have a look at the Northeast and get you out the door here and show you a lot. It is Tuesday, March 19th at America's Morning Headquarters, the first day of spring. And after a winter with lackluster snowfall, the radar is lit up in blue here around the Great Lakes this morning. Temperatures 5 to 15 degrees below average for much of the week, giving us ample cold air to support this snow and actually a lot more to come. Jim, of course, today is a vernal equinox. That is what spring is as well. That means you have nearly equal daylight and darkness at all the latitudes.
The problem is...
Pretty freaked out. I can't do scary. But if you like scary, don't miss Dead Man's Curse, Legend of the Lost Gold, Sunday at 10/9 Central, only on the Weather Channel. Jim, if I do watch scary, it has to be literally like... I have to stop watching scary around 4 in the afternoon at the absolute latest, because I'll go right into a nightmare, like no matter what.
Abrams, I saw Jaws when I was...
The hour of America's Morning Headquarters, dangerous wind chills. Yes, for our Wednesday morning, we're talking 6 below and snow showers. They kick off the first full day of spring. How long the winter vibes will stick around in the northern tier. But let's get you out the door in this. I feel like a lot of people feel that freaked out by the cold and the snow when this is a time it's supposed to be getting warm. We're not supposed to be going in the opposite direction. And you can see all this energy diving in. And this is cold air. This is what's helping kick off that snow that's coming in as well. And there it is for you. We have it coming across the lakes. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s. We do have that sunshine, New York here into Boston. So a nice start of the day for us, because the cloud cover this time of year, it's like enough already, right? Enough. Give us the sunshine. Unfortunately, we're going to stay in a very unsettled pattern that looks just like this for the next several days as we just get reinforcing shots of energy and cooler air. Snowfall totals in that 3 to 5 inch range. You get a little few thousand feet in the Tug Hill Plateau. That's where you're going to get a little bit more to accumulate. But overall, it's going to be on the lighter side. It could be blown around, though. Winds could gust 40, 50 miles an hour with this system that's coming on through. It's today as we head into tomorrow, and then it lingers into New England as we head into our Wednesday evening. Then we just reset essentially for our Thursday. But notice this is through Thursday morning, so this is only the first system, and that's the Tug Hill Plateau giving you that 5 to 8 inches there. We have huge deficits, though. I mean, you're talking 3, 4, 5 feet in several locations. Look at Erie at 74 inches. Marquette is at 73. So we're up in that, 5-foot range for us here. Syracuse even at 70 inches for us. It's really bad. We did not get any snow. And that snow is going to get blown by these winds. And it's today as we head into tomorrow. More of those winds. And then that eventually pulls out. And again, we reset with our next system, which is quite breezy, too. Syracuse, as I just showed you, 70 inches below average. We really need it, but there's no way we're going to make up that deficit at this point. Jim, elevation snow for us here. The tugs are around 3,000 feet. I forget the exact number, but I know they're right around that.
So this kind of begs the question, at 70 inches down, what is our least snowiest winter in Syracuse?
Yeah, we should look into that. We should actually look into all of those 5 or 6 foot belows.
Yeah, I mean, because that's really a massive deficit there. Wow. But you know what? We're going to get nickel and dime for a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
So we talked about all the energy coming into the Great Lakes in the Midwest. Do you spot any other energy on the water vapor imagery? I know these are really tough to really discern what's going on, but did this stick out to you at all? This little spin in the southwest? This is the same system from the entire system. It reminds me of like when you're making some sort of pastries and like you squeeze the bag and then you cut it and the pastry drops like into the oil or whatever. That's what happened. This thing just got cut off and it's just sitting here and spinning around the southwest. It's going to get a little nudge from another system. You know how we always need that? Some of us need that little nudge to get going. Well, that's what this is going to get, and it's going to make its way into places like Texas, where we'll see an increased flow from the Gulf of Mexico, giving us moisture and the potential for storms. So midweek through Friday, the Euro has a heavier rain in that I-10, I-20 corridor. The GFSs, as it did with Jordan just then, heavier rain there into the Carolinas. Not saying we're not going to get that, but this could be quite a system there for us. This is going on already saturated grounds. We have rain since March 1st that has totaled 6, 7+ inches, even 8 inches in some locations. So we don't need any more rain for us here. It has been plenty wet. Tomorrow it storms from San Antonio up into the panhandle there of Texas. Thursday, it shifts over into Houston. And along that I-10 corridor is where we'll also, then it all pushes to the East Coast. And that's when we could see some significant weather with this. So it all really kind of gets together Wednesday. Thursday, though, is the big day for this, really congealing and giving us the clouds and the showers. It rocks and rolls eastbound. Friday morning, a mess here into the southeast. And then as we head into our Friday evening, it heads into the Carolinas. San Antonio, it storms for you. Thursday night, we clear out, of course, because everything makes its way eastbound. And a quick look here at Houston, showers and thunderstorms. But what happens with the system once it gets to that southeast coast? That's where Jim picks up the story.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Iceland, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're full of. Ahead on this Tuesday edition of America's Morning Headquarters, it is Tuesday, March 19th at America's Morning Headquarters. And yes, on the first day of spring, after a very lackluster winter, we've got snowfall on the radar. It is lit up in blue this morning around the Great Lakes. Temperatures 5 to 15 degrees below average much of the week, giving us an ample cold air to support the snow. I mean, Jim, it's like, really, Mother Nature, after this whole, we had all winter to give us snow.
It's hard to go back in a situation like this.
Well, the first day of spring is today. It officially kicks off at 11:06 p.m. Eastern time. So the first full day of spring will be tomorrow. You know, there's two different types of spring. Did you ever know this? There's meteorological spring and there's astronomical spring. So meteorological spring is March through May. I mean, it's very, easy to determine meteorological spring. Astronomical, that date can change because we are not on, a perfect path around the sun and tilt and all that sort of stuff. So that can range from March 20th to the 21st or even the 19th as well. So here's a look at what I think is always so interesting is we're actually farther away from the sun during the summer, but it's all about the tilt. We're tilting towards it, which makes a big difference. But anyhow, it's spring, not summer. I just thought that was a fun fact for you that you're farther away from the sun during the summer, but we're tilted toward it. Spring on, March 20th, 19th to 21st, whatever day it is, that is when we have nearly equal daylight and darkness on all latitudes, actually, as a matter of fact. So here's a look, December through February, the northern hemisphere, we get less light, and it's on to the Tropic of Capricorn, which is in the southern hemisphere. But then, of course, when we switch, then you see that we actually get more direct sunlight in that March through May time period for us. And that's why things get a lot warmer here in the northern hemisphere. And it's always so funny to think about, in the southern hemisphere that they have opposite seasons than us. So like in December, it's warm down there opposed to up here. So the average last day to freeze is right around this March time period, because this is when we're going to be getting that more, direct sunlight. And that's going to keep warming everything up for us. Right now, of course, we've got some cold air for us here, Jordan, and it sticks around through the weekend, but it's only a matter of time till we're complaining about the heat.
I know, and that's true, so enjoy it.
Listen, I am very loyal to the Weather Channel. I've been here over 20 years. I love this place. It feels like home to me, and I don't want to ever knock anything on the Weather Channel. This is a hard no for me. It looks excellent. Too scary. I can't watch scary things anymore. I have nightmares right away.
You can't even watch, little suspense.
Really,
News is scary enough, don't you think, sometimes?
The Lost Gold, Sunday at 10/9 Central, only on the Weather Channel. Jim, it's gotten so bad, even like an action movie.
Oh,
because
geez.
I'll go right into a dream and I'll have someone chasing after me. Yes, it is exhausting. I need my sleep. But it looks very good.
That's why she watches documentaries.
And I watch love story
That's
things.
all right. That's good.
Being winter, hang on. We have snow in the northern tier. Just how much of this will stack up through the weekend? Jordan.
And the already soggy...
Obviously you need the cold air to get snow, but it does look like it's hanging around. Here is energy. You can see, you can clearly see it. You see this right here, all diving south into the Great Lakes. Cold air diving south, energy diving south. And essentially, we're going to stay quite active through the northern tier and quite cool as well. There's your snow that is coming off of the lakes. Even if you're not getting the snow, you're just getting that cloud cover for us here. We do have the sunshine, New York, Albany, on into Boston as well. Chicago, because we're kind of on the west side, we are seeing the sunshine too. We need this snow. We need, in fact, a lot more of it. Our snow totals are well below average. Overall, it's kind of a 3 to 5 incher unless you get into the tugs, which have a few thousand feet there of elevation. This is going to continue through today and also into tomorrow. We're going to see some gusty winds too, maybe 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts. west. So watch for some tree limbs, coming down, that type of a thing. I don't think we're going to see too many power outages, but we certainly could see some. This is all going to linger into our Wednesday evening, and then we reset back into the plains with our next shot of energy. But overall, 5 to 8, that's elevation for you. It only takes, that's all you need is a few thousand feet of elevation to make things really pop off. But look at these numbers. I mean, I don't know how kids multiply these days, by the way, but 6 times 2 is 12, so it's 72 inches. These inches, I think, are hard sometimes for people to do, so I just wanted to put the math up there for you. But if you look at these, 72 inches is 6 feet. And so we are down 5-6 feet in a lot of places here across the board. It is tremendous how far we are below average. No way of making that up. There's going to be a lot of wind with this system, too, so that'll blow some of that snow around. Could take down the visibility. But notice, even into our Wednesday evening, we still hang on to those strong gusty winds, even, in fact, into our Thursday. So what we have right now is a pattern that we're going to be locked into, at least as we head into the weekend. We will see more of that snow for us. We kind of clear one out, and then we see another piece come on through. Look at Caribou, Maine. Notice also down to 15 Thursday night into Friday morning.
Yeah, so there is a little Arctic air that's going to kind of skim the northern tier of states here. And that's what this next replenishing shot looks like. All right, guys, breathtaking icicles.
Talk about what else we're seeing in the atmosphere. We should play a little game of I Spy. I'm going to give you a little hint. So we talked about this energy coming through the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes, right? You can see it diving down from Canada. I spy with my little eye another piece of energy on the map? Do you see it anywhere? Any guesses? Are you out there yelling at your TV screen like when there's a game show or something, and you're like, you know what the answer is, and they can't hear you? Well, here it is.
Think about how hard it is for us.
Yeah,
we want to play, we can't play.
I know.
We can't even play.
I wish I could hear you through the television screen. I also wish we had 3D TVs. I think that'll come at some point. Anyhow, back to the maps. This is a piece of energy, or another piece of energy. And this, by the way, is what caused that snowstorm in Colorado and the snow over the Four Corners. And it just snipped off right from the flow. It can do that. You can have a big jet energy and you get this big trough coming in. It just cuts it off and it just sits there. It's got nothing to move it. These don't have a mind of their own, how you hear some people say. They get pushed and pulled by other systems that they're around. So this piece of energy is going to get a big push with this jet coming in and this big ridge. That's going to push this whole thing eastbound. As it does so, it's going to dip into some moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to bring us rain, and a lot of it probably between I-10 and I-20. The Euro, 2 to 3. The GFS has some heavier showers into the Carolinas, but you get the gist, right, through the next several days. And we don't need any more of this. 6 to 7 inches just since March 1st, not since the beginning of the year, since March 1st. We are waterlogged here. And then you have the possibility of some thunderstorms. It doesn't look like a big severe weather outbreak, but you will have some of those gustier winds, maybe a little hail, maybe a heavy downpour. And within that, the heavier downpours, there could be flooding. Thursday, Friday, Texas, Louisiana, then we go up into the Carolinas. Let me play it out for you because it doesn't really get together until, Thursday. That's when you see it really pop on the screen. And then it's all just going to be slowly moving eastbound, and then it's going to wind up the East Coast. And as it does so, it's going to bring us some gusty winds, potentially some erosion, and then this is going to make its way where? Well, guess what? This is where Jim picks up the story to carry it forward.
Yeah, gee, thanks, Abrams. I appreciate
that for energy, which is also very interesting. Ahead on this Tuesday edition of America's Morning Headquarters, sand and let's do it here, Jim. Thanks for that. Nice, easy transition into our dog walking forecast. And as well, America's Morning Headquarters is with you all morning long. And Molly McCullum is here to show us what's happening at 9 a.m. Apparently, you guys are having a party?
It's party time, Steph. Ba, 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 ba.
Exactly.
It's actually the pinkest party on earth. It's the International Cherry Blossom Festival in Macon, Georgia. It would actually match your dress, Steph.
Well,
all the beautiful
pink. I actually
pink.
wore this because it's spring, but it's still cold out. So I was like, I still need long sleeves, but something bright.
I did the same thing, and I couldn't find anything bright, so I just had to go with a sweater dress because it's still plenty cold outside. Macon, by the way, it's the gateway to the southern climate.
Okay.
So the climate and the weather has a huge impact on these cherry blossoms. So we're going to talk to some of the organizers of the festival and how all the different ways that the weather there in Macon taken can impact their blooms.
And find out why they have so many cherry blossoms in Macon.
That's a great question, because I asked that yesterday. I was like, why do they have more than DC?
Yeah.
But they do.
All right. Well, the answer is coming up on AMHQ at 9 a.m. with Molly and Posty. Is Alex around too?
He is.
All right. Alex is up too.
For 8th, more than 30 million people will be in the path of totality during the solar eclipse, and many of them will want to capture that moment on camera.
That they will. So we are here with photographer and Canon Explorer of Light, Keith Ladzinski, to get a few tips on how to capture the big moment. Keith, thanks for being here. Your photos are amazing. You have a huge following, right, on Instagram, all the pictures.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Big fans here. And you appear on national ads in places like National Geographic. So let's talk lenses for people that are really into taking pictures. The important lenses versus the camera its actual self. What's the difference?
Certainly. Well, the negative that's been made over the last 20 years will be more than sufficient for capturing a great photo of the eclipse. When it comes to the lenses, I would think about that more as the perspective in which you want to capture. So, and it all comes down to, I would think about using a tree in the foreground and putting the eclipse above it. Whereas if you have a big lens like this one here, this will allow you to actually bring the eclipse in and see it in more detail.
I can't imagine even getting these on here. These are mirrorless cameras, okay? How are they different from DSLR?
So a mirrorless camera is much smaller, as you can see here. You're actually looking through an electric viewfinder.
All right, before totality, we have to wear glasses, but a lot of people like to get the shots leading up to it, and Bailey's beads and, you know, the diamond and all that sort of stuff. So when you're looking at the time before totality, is it dangerous not only for your eyes if you're looking through the camera, but also is it dangerous for the camera and the lens as well?
It is. They're screw ends, some of them mount on. This will protect your lens, your camera, and your eyes from harmful rays like affected by these damaging, light rays.
So, Keith, this looks like the smaller lenses here. I've seen some of these, like this big through here. I mean, are you going to be able to actually see what's going on the surface of the sun with some of these lenses that you have?
You certainly millimeter lens.
That one too, you can?
Absolutely. This will really allow you to see that little diameter,
right? That's going on in the corona, if you will.
Absolutely. Yes. You will
say are, the things that people should be focusing on, no pun intended there, and maybe the things people should absolutely not do. Are there a couple for, people that are just getting into taking...
do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
The top do's and don'ts.
Certainly have a lot of different looks while we have that beautiful totality happen.
Right, for all these.
Some I'll have on tripods, some I'll be shooting handheld.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Freehand. All right. Well, photographer and Canon Explorer of Light, Keith Ladzinski, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Great follow
So
on Instagram,
creative.
too.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Again, dangerous wind chills and snow showers kick off the first day of spring, and the colder temps are coming with a little bit of snow, where the totals will add up to. Plus, later today,